it's me, a wild kitty appeared, and today for you, I'm going to be giving you my review of RWBY Volume 7. Alright, because we got a lot to talk about this volume. Whew, this volume was interesting. So, I've been a fan of RWBY ever since the first episode ever came out. When the trailers were coming out, everything. Like, you know, got this top of Beacon Academy. May that be no more, but still, yes. But this season, honestly, I didn't think it was that good. I know. Everywhere else I look, everyone said this was the best volume ever, and I'm like, we're rewatching the same volume? Because I had problems with this volume. And yeah. But don't get me wrong, there were parts that I loved, that I really like, and I do kind of get why people liked it. But there are some parts where I'm just like, ooh, that happened. So yeah. So I made some bullet points on my laptop, and we're gonna go through them. Now I'm gonna first go through the things I did like about this volume, and then I'll go into the negative because there's a lot more in that list. But anyways, yes. So the first thing that I really liked about this season was Weiss and her family. Yes, so in this volume we got to see a lot more of her family, we got to see more interaction with them, and honestly all the stuff that had to do with the Shnees was really interesting, and I really liked it. Especially like with Weiss having her conversations with her sister, then obviously going back to the Shmee house, and yeah, and everything in it was great. I absolutely loved it. I'm glad we finally got to meet, obviously, Weiss's mum, because obviously she's always been talked about, but we never really get to see her, and obviously all of her baggage. And yeah, just all their conversations that they had, like especially Weiss and Winter, like you can sense like a real sort of sisterly bond with them, and it works so well. You get quite a lot. And I even enjoyed Whitley. Now I know a lot of people don't like Whitley, but if you really think about it, this poor kid has probably gone through some stuff. And as Weiss's mum said to Weiss, you left him here. Like, you left him here with us. And yeah, and I get why Whitley acts the way he does, like especially with the kind of family that he's been left to deal with and hang around with and stuff. And yeah, a lot of people not like him, and I can freaking understand why, because yeah, he's not that, like, he can be a bit of a brat. I feel like we're gonna get more with Whitley and really understand what he's going through. Like, he's not exactly what he is like when he's talking to Weiss or when he's talking to anyone else. He puts up an act, and I feel that. And yeah, and everything about the whole Shinee family this season was great. Like, I feel like there should just be a spin-off of the Shinee family, because they have way more interesting stuff going on than other stuff that's going on at the moment of this plot. But yeah, although Jock Shnee was a bit, yeah, he was not a great villain, but I think that's the only drawback, is Jock Shnee. Everybody else in the Shnee family are great, but yeah. Alright, next up, Ironwood. My god, Ironwood in this volume was so well written. Like, everything you understood. Like, everything that Ironwood was going through in this volume. And honestly, I can kind of understand a lot of his actions, why he chose not to do certain things, why, like, you know, what happened at the near end of why he kind of went insane. Like, because he's been lied to, you know, he basically just got told that Salem can't die. You know, so many things, everything that happened with Ironwood, like, yes, but like, he was really well written this season. Alright. Number 3 is Oscar. Oscar, honestly, is coming to the point where I'm like, I feel like he should be the protagonist at this point, because again, he's a lot more interesting, and there's so much more interest. Like, again, with his talks with Ironwood, again, are really well done. Like, he does seem to be, like, the wisest character there. I don't know if that's just because, obviously, well, no, technically Oz is supposed to be asleep at this point, but, like, he still seems to be like, yo, this doesn't sound right, so maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. And it's like, yeah, this is one of these things where it's like, maybe we should have listened to Oscar first. Then maybe some of this stuff wouldn't have happened. But yeah. And yeah, I just love Oscar as a character. He's very interesting, and I can't wait to see more of him in the next volume. But that's all I got to say that was good about Volume 7. Now here comes the stuff that... Okay, so I feel like Volume 7's worst enemy was time. It was time. Because I feel like this season should have had more episodes, to be perfectly honest. Because I felt like a lot of stuff was rushed, a lot of stuff didn't feel quite right. It because my main thing was like the Ace Ops. I really didn't feel like we had enough time with them, to be perfectly honest. Like, because to the point where we got to the season finale, I didn't really care that much about the Ace Ops, to be perfectly honest. Like, there were some like good qualities and fun scenes we had with them, but still didn't feel that much. Like, when they were facing, obviously, Team RWBY, when Ironwood told them to arrest them, it didn't feel weird. Like, it didn't, like, I don't know what it was. It just wasn't that upsetting that they had to fight Team RWBY, because I didn't feel like they had enough time to really bond with them. I know technically they didn't want to be friends, but it's still, that was not, again, great. Again, I didn't feel like I cared a lot about the other characters that I didn't already know, like the new characters that were introduced this season, because we didn't, again, get a lot of time with them. I feel like this season should have, again, been like 25 episodes or a little more, just to like give us more time with them, give us more character development, and give us more time to, you know, care about them. But yeah, and if it's one of these things that's like, oh, it's budget, and I'm like, RWBY makes enough money. Like, I'm sure they can hire more animators and have a budget where they could do 25 episodes. If they can't, I'd be definitely surprised. But yeah, other thing, Crow and Clover's friendship. Like, I honestly didn't quite get how fast. I feel like their friendship was way too quick, again, with time. Like, it was more like, oh, I have a bad luck semblance. Oh, I have a good luck semblance. Oh, we're friends now. Like, pretty sure that's not how friendships work, but okay. And, I don't know, they had some nice interactions, but again, the whole time thing, I feel like if we had more time with their friendship, it would have made sense. And honestly, me, because, yeah, it wasn't like RWBY has built up friendships where, you know, you could get it, go, yes, these are real good friends, yes, they work it, yes, great, amazing. But Crow and Clover, I wasn't feeling it, to be perfectly honest. I know there's people who ship them, and if you ship them, go, ship away. You can ship whatever you want. I don't, like, it's you. If you saw something in it that was more shippable, okay, go for it. Like, I'm not gonna diss you for shipping them. But for me, I could not ship them. It just, yeah. And also their friendship, like, even just the friendship, I just couldn't believe it. Because, yeah. Although I will say one thing. Okay, one more good thing, I guess, about this season I'll go into. It's Crow. His new voice actor did a really good job, to be perfectly honest. I thought he did a very good job of obviously replacing Vic Mignogna. And yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, it's actually the voice actor who does Izawa from My Hero Academia. I might need to look that up, but still, he did a very fantastic job, and again, well done to him. It's just a shame his script he got was not that great, but yeah. Okay. Now, again talking about like Clover and Crow. When Clover's death happened, honestly, again, because of time, I really couldn't care less that Clover died, to be perfectly honest. I felt like we didn't get to know him that well to be like, if him dying, like being a very dramatic and sad scene, because we get to see Crow. Crow is upset that obviously someone he was kind of close to died, but again, we didn't get much for them, and I feel like it just wasn't. It was not like impactful, and it wasn't built up that good because. Alright, for me, for example, I cry at a lot of stuff. Like, usually when I watch TV shows and I'm watching a finale, I normally do end up crying at some stage or point, but throughout any of the final episodes, I was kind of like, not a tear to be cried. Because, I mean, with, like, a character death, like, a lot of times it's good to have a character that's, like, really well, like, everyone really loves, and they want to see them alive, and then they kill them to have that impact. Like, for example, Pyrrha. We got to know Pyrrha from basically Volume 1 to Volume 3. You know, we got to know her personality. We got to know what she was like, you know, her relationships with everybody, you know, especially her relationship with John. And, of course, when she died in Volume 3, I cried like a baby. Like, I was literally crawling up, watching on my laptop, crying, because I was devastated that she died. And yeah, and that's what, again, is a good build-up. But with, like, Clover, we only got a few episodes, and I just feel like we didn't get to know him that much, to where, you know, I feel like I cared about him, that, you know, if he died, you know, I'd cry, I'd shed a tear. And I feel like, again, if we had more episodes, and we really got to dive more into his character, then yeah, I probably would have cried when he died. It's just, again, this volume really needed more time setting up a lot of other stuff. So yeah. So, now I'm sure maybe some of you will disagree with me on this point. And I'm sure maybe other points I've made, some of you will disagree with me on me as well. But this one I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of backlash about this one. But, I don't think Penny should have gotten the maiden powers. To be perfectly honest, I don't think she should have became the Winter Maiden. To be perfectly honest. And you know why? Because I feel like Winter should have gotten them. Because, honestly, it would have been more interesting if she got the Winter Maiden powers. Because she's still on Ironwood's side. It would have been interesting to see what, you know, they would kind of do with those powers. But with Penny, we know that obviously she's going to be helping Team RWBY. And that's it. When we got to see Penny again, in this volume, I didn't know exactly how to feel about it, because obviously she died in, of course, you know, she died in Volume 3, but, her coming back, I was a bit like, I don't know, that kind of made her death in Volume 3 not mean much, to be perfectly honest. Like, I know, yeah, she's a robot, she could be rebuilt, but I don't think she should have came back. Like, I love Penny, don't get me wrong, she's a freaking lovely character, I love her character, but I feel like her staying dead would have been fine. Like, I honestly wouldn't have minded, and she didn't need to come back, to be perfectly honest. And again, I don't feel like she should have gotten the maiden powers, because if the show's going the way it is, I think it's supposed to be that RWBY is supposed to get the maiden powers at the end of this, because it makes more sense. And Penny already died once, are we really gonna kill her off again? And also, like, if Winter got it, you know how, like, impactful that would be with Weiss as well? Like, they missed so much stuff, like, no, Team RWBY didn't need to get the Winter Maiden. They didn't, because, I mean, they already don't have the Fall Maiden, because obviously Cinder got it. Obviously the Spring Maiden, Yang's mom's got it. And if, like, Winter got it, then, again, like, that would have been great too, because again, technically she's not on their side, but she is, but she's still more for the conflict, and it would have been so much more interesting if she got the maiden powers. But no, we had to give them to Penny. Which, to be fair, I was very confused on, like, how that works because she's a robot. I don't know if that's just because she has an aura, because obviously she got it from Petro, but I still, like, yeah, it's just one of these things where I just feel like she shouldn't have got it, and I don't think she should have came back. That's just me. Like, I love Penny, but I still don't think she should have came back. Like, if they brought back Pyrrha, I'd be pissed. So, yeah. Alright, next up I want to talk about is Ren and Nora. Now, I have been shipping these two since Volume frickin' 1, and, you know, been wanting them to get together for years. To be honest, I kinda thought they already got together. I think it was in Volume 4, where, you know, we get to learn their sort of, was it Volume, no, it was Volume 5, I think, where basically they, we got to see their backstory, and we kinda see this nice little moment where, you know, they're holding hands and they're looking into each other's eyes and it looks very lovingly. Kind of thought that already could kind of assume that they were a thing, but no, apparently not, because they had this whole bickering about if they were together or not, and then they ended up kissing during a like political party, and then obviously stuff happened. But yeah, I don't know. And also Nora kind of annoyed me this season too, and just like Ren seemed to be the only one with like the head on, like, his head on his shoulders, because, yeah, it's just, I feel like the build-up wasn't there. Like, and also, it didn't get mentioned about if they were a thing. Like, there was no, again, hint that something was going more on since, like, Volume 5. And we're on Volume 7, for fuck's sake. And, like, Volume 6 had nothing on them being in a relationship at all. And it's just one of these things where it's like, okay, that happened. And yeah, it just kind of irked me. And I just don't feel like Team RWBY can write romance that well. Is that just me? Because again, I'm going to talk about another couple, which I guess is supposed to be a couple, I'm not really actually sure. And that is Yang and Blake. Because at the end of the last volume, we see them obviously defeat Adam, and it kind of seemed like maybe these two were together now, like they are a couple and everything, because that's what everyone was going crazy about. But honestly, throughout this whole volume, I could not see that they were supposed to be a couple. Like, to me, it very much looked like they were still friends, in a way. Like, that was about it. It wasn't talked about, like, in these kind of things, I feel like it at least should be talked about more, or given more signs. Like, for Nora and Ren, when they did the whole handhold and looking into their eyes, that was kind of cute. Like, that kind of confirms going, oh yeah, there's something more going on with them. But with Yang and Blake, like, don't get me wrong, I've been really wanting Bumblebee to be canon for years, because they are adorable, and I think they're really cute. But the way it's been written, I don't feel like they're supposed to be a couple. Like, I still feel like they're meant to be friends, even though there was that throwaway line Nora talks about with Ren, saying that, you know, oh, you know, of course there are more, because, you know, two people who have gone through a lot together, you know, things happen. It's like, yeah, people can still go through things together. It doesn't mean they end up in a couple, but okay. Yeah, so it's one of these things. If they are trying to make this canon, then say something, or have a moment where they're, you know, talking about some kind of relationship or something. For me, I just couldn't get that they were supposed to be a couple. Like, nothing seemed romantic between them. They still just seem like good close friends now. They buried the hatchet. So yeah, I don't know, maybe we all kind of hyped it up or something and they actually are not a couple. I don't know. But again, there was the Nora line, so if they're supposed to be a couple, I don't see it. The one thing that bothered me a lot in this season was Team RWBY lying to Ironwood. And honestly, okay, so I can kind of get why they wanted to lie to Ironwood, but they were kind of being hypocrites, to be perfectly honest. Because their whole thing was they got mad at Ozpin for lying to them about, you know, Salem can't die. You know, they got really angry about that. But they decided not to tell Ironwood. And of course, that's gonna look what that ended up. Like, again, I don't know, maybe if they told them earlier, it could have maybe been more drastic, I don't know, but I feel like they shouldn't have lied. And they kind of made it like, oh yes, Ozpin lied, and we're lying too, but we're the heroes, so it doesn't matter. Like, no. Like, no. Yeah, it's just one of these things I did not understand. Feel like we could have, like, to me, Ironwood does seem like a guy you can trust. I know we had that whole thing with Leon, like, he sort of lied and stuff, but to be fair, he kind of looked like the dude you would not trust. Ironwood is someone you can trust, but if you cross him, oh boy, no. Like, you don't want to do that. And yeah, I just feel like the motives between like the characters keeping it a secret was not a great idea and everything. And the fact that, you know, Ironwood trusted them with the whole tower thing that he was building. Like, he trusted them enough to tell them. And then what does Kang and Blake do? Oh yeah, go tell frickin' Robin. But, yeah. That's just, it's one of these things where I'm getting to the point where I'm not liking a lot of the main characters. Like, especially in Team RWBY, like, the only character I still really like is Weiss. Like, I freaking love Weiss. Like, she's probably one of the best written characters in the show. But, like even RWBY is starting to get on my nerves, and Yang and Blake, it's like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But yeah, that is just my whole feelings with Volume 7. I just didn't think it was that good of a volume. I think they really do need to have more episodes out, or just time it better, like give us better ways to, you know, really connect with the characters. And yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what they do for Volume 8, but right now, I'm not feeling it right now. And it's really disheartening because I really do like this show, and I started really liking these characters, but I'm getting to the point where, but yeah. Also, can I just say one more thing before I end this video? Why does Cinder have to be alive? Like, why? Why does she still need to be alive? Like, Cinder to me at this point is pointless. Like, I'm more interested in Salem at this point, but Cinder, no. Like, she would have just died at Volume 5, and then that would have been it. Because she doesn't give anything new to the story. She's not that interesting of a villain. Like, I'd actually probably more want to follow Neo, and she doesn't even talk. So it's like, yeah, like Cinder should not be a thing anymore, but apparently she is. But yeah, but that's again my thoughts. I think I probably do have more thoughts, but I don't want to make this video an hour long. Unless you guys want, like, maybe a more discussion video on exactly what other stuff I had, what I didn't like about the season. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe for more fandom content. Thank you, Shake a Stick.